David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world, Options Training Academy. We're going to talk about why most people are not successful with free information. And this video is going to be for, this audio is going to be for people that want to really try to understand that they're wasting their time believing that this high level of success that they say they want, they're going to get there for free. And if you really look at how society is groups, you have people that have been persuaded and influenced that there's not going to be any fair exchange for what they say they want. You understand me? And they aggregate big groups of people who really in reality are paying, but they're persuaded and believing that I'm getting something for free. And one of the easiest way to scan and con people, right? The easiest way to scan and con somebody is to make them believe they're going to get something for free. One of the hardest ways to scan and con people is to make them believe they got to pay for something. You understand me? And then I want you to also understand something. The really successful people in this world paid the cost to be successful. The majority of unsuccessful people in this world were not willing to pay the cost to be successful. And that's going to be case by case, situation by situation. But if we really look at this society, we're talking about American society where you have really endless amount of opportunity. I can't compare America to, a kid living in the Dominican Republic. I can't compare America to a kid living in Haiti. I can't compare America to a kid that's going to end up living in Ukraine. You understand me? They're going to have way less opportunities to be successful than somebody living inside the United States. And what's interesting is that we have people inside the United States that believe their opportunity to become successful, what it's going to take for them to become successful, should be offered to them free of cost. And in reality, there is no such thing as free of cost because something had to be provided to you. And I don't want people, especially if you're a younger person, right? And my platform kind of skews across age groups. It's not just for young people. However, if you're kind of starting your life out, I don't want you to get into this mindset that I'm going to be able to get what I want to get out of life for free. If you are an older person and you're trying to get yourself in a great situation, I don't want you to think that I can continue to search for stuff for free and I'm going to be able to figure out what I want to get for free, because I believe that my success should come for free. And you may want to look back at your life and ask yourself, how long have I been doing this? And is this one of the reasons why I've never been able to get the success that I desire? Now, if you don't have it, you don't have it. However, the question you want to ask yourself is, what do I have to do to put myself in a position to where I can receive what I need to be successful? And it's not always just money, but that's how we see everything. And we're going to kind of go into that. Now, we talked about everything in the world has to be produced. Okay? Goods and services has to be produced by somebody for the end user. And there's an old saying in economics, and there's a guy who's named Milton Friedman who's a liar, but we understand that the devil will tell you 1% of the truth, or they also tell you 95% of the truth, but the 1% lies what they're going to break your back with. But Milton Friedman is a liar. He's one of these guys that promoted the idea that there's such thing as a free market. And it's always interesting, and when you have imperialist Anglo-Saxons telling you there's such thing as free markets, when they do things like, do economic sanctions and tell people you can't do business with people else, but they tell you that there's such thing as a free market. So Milton Friedman's a liar. However, with this one particular point, he's 100% correct. He said there's no such thing as a free lunch. And he's right. In economics, you understand is that every good or every service has to be produced by somebody. Therefore, if you're receiving it, and even though you did not pay a cost to receive it, there was a cost to produce the good or the service. So therefore, the good or service is not free. It had to be produced somewhere by somebody for the good or service to be consumed. Then also we have something called opportunity cost, which, to be very basic in basic terms, from my understanding, it means that, anything that you're involved in to receive some type of benefit, you could have been involved in something else. So let's say I decide, I have two options. I could go to the grocery store and buy food, or I could go watch a movie. Now I receive a tangible benefit of food. And when I watch the movie, I receive an emotional benefit because I enjoy the movie, right? Well, there's a cost to do one instead of doing the other and vice versa. So if I go buy food from the grocery store, I can't watch the movie. And if I go watch the movie, I'm gonna miss out on the opportunity to buy food from the grocery store. And there's an opportunity cost when you get involved in any activity. So then therefore it's not free because there's an opportunity cost. And even though if you gain in one area, you lose in that other area, right? Because you only got so much time, right? And that's something that people don't understand. You got a finite amount of time in your life, even though you may have endless opportunities. And that's something a lot of people can't wrap their head around. Now, when we want to talk about free information, because there's this narrative that, you know what, well, information is free and therefore I shouldn't pay for anything because the information is free. Now let's look at America, right? If free information was so powerful, how come so many people in America are wealthless and have income insecurity? Now I'm asking that question again. If free information was so powerful, how come so many people inside the United States of America are wealthless? They have no wealth. Many have a negative net worth. And they have so much income insecurity, which means that they don't know where their money's coming from. They don't know whether or not they're going to be able to continue to make the money. There's a ceiling over the top of their head of how much money they can make. But information is free, though. Okay? Now, people will say, well, you know what? It's because they have not applied the information. So the information is free, but they haven't applied it. Okay, next question. The information on how to apply the information is also free. The information on time management is free. The information on disciplining yourself is free. The information on dopamine withdrawal is free. That information is free. So then how come it's not working for people? Next question. If information is free, why do you pay to get an education? Go ask the question again. If information is free, why do you pay to get an education? Why did you pay? Why go to colleges and pay for courses when you can buy the book on Amazon? Why go to college and take college algebra when you can buy the book on Amazon and study college algebra in your house? Why go to college and take calculus when you can buy the book on Amazon and study calculus in your house? It's free. Why do that? Why pay to get your car fixed when you can go on YouTube and buy Chilton's? You can go get the Chilton's manual and watch a YouTube video and fix your car. Why go get your car fixed? It's free, right? Or it's low cost. So Chilton's is not that expensive. YouTube is free, let you tell it. Why go pay to get your car fixed? If free information was so powerful, how come so many people in America have bad eating habits? The info on what they should be eating is free. Gonna ask the same question again. If free information is so powerful, how come so many people in America have bad eating habits when the info on what they should eat is absolutely free? Oh, well, they can't control their impulses. The information on how to control your impulses is free. How come people are going through this? Right? I drive a Toyota. I'm not mad that Benzes sell cars for $120,000. I call them Benzes, but it's Mercedes-Benz. I'm not mad that Mercedes-Benz will sell you a car for $120,000. I'm not mad at them, even though I drive Toyotas, right? I couldn't see myself buying a car for $120,000. Now I do one day want to lease an Alpina for like maybe 1 to 2 years, but I'm definitely not going to buy it. I may lease it for 1 to 2 years because I know how you can go and find people that want you to take over their lease, and I take over their lease for like 1 to 2 years, and I get out of my system driving an Alpina, and I'll be done with it. But I'm definitely not going to buy that car. That's not going to happen. Now, when you buy a car, to me, you're buying an engine and you're buying a drivetrain. Now, I'm not convinced that a Benz drivetrain and engine is worth $120,000. However, what I'm not going to do is make YouTube videos around Benz being a scam. Now, you got mechanics on YouTube. They make videos around, this particular manufacturer doesn't make good cars. This particular manufacturer, I don't like their cars. But that's not their whole YouTube platform. They'll make a video here and there. There's a guy that talks about how he doesn't like BMW because they use a lot of plastic in their parts. But that's not what his whole platform is based around. He just tells you, I like these cars, but I don't like these cars. However, he's not telling you that Mercedes-Benz or BMW shouldn't charge what they charge for their cars. They got a right to charge whatever they want to charge. And just because you don't think it's worth it, it don't mean they shouldn't charge it. And you can go get a car for free. There's people that give away cars. However, the car wasn't free. Why? Because somebody had to buy the car for you to get the car. Somebody had to buy the car for the car to be donated to you. Therefore, the car wasn't free, even though you may not have paid for the car. But there is no such thing as free in an economic system. It doesn't exist. I have 200 options videos on this YouTube channel. They're free, quote unquote. However, I want you to understand something. It took time and resources to make them. I'm a person, I trade. I got an options course. I got an options community. I also make videos. That takes time. I'm working every day to keep this stuff going. Working every day because I'm still the main content creator. I don't have a person working for me that makes my content for me. I'm still the main content creator. Even if all I had to do was do the audios, that would still take time. Now, all the person has to do is watch the videos on YouTube like you're doing right now. But you got to realize something. It took time, money, and resources to make the videos. There's equipment that I use to make the videos. That took time, money, and resources to obtain. Then there's an opportunity cost of me doing this particular activity because I could be doing another activity. But in your mind, you getting over because it's free. And I'm not talking about the person that's listening. I'm talking about the person that has a mentality that everything should be free. But in reality, it took time to make all of this. And that's what people don't understand. It's never free. And this narrative that I should just get stuff for free. Like I said before, all of this free information in the society, where is the results of people doing all this stuff for free? Where's the results? You got it all for free. Where's the results? So there must be something missing in this formula because we're not getting the result that we desire. There's got to be something missing there. Now let's talk about the value of your time. We're going to get up on out of here. Like, this is not going to be a long video. Many of you have been programmed to value your time at a certain level because of how your employer sees your time. Many people, their employer sees their time at $15 an hour. That's how they value their time. Then therefore, they value everybody else's time at that level unless there has been some marketing done from a prestige badge standpoint to get people to see time at a higher level. And there's something you want to understand. Prestige badges, you should go read a book called The Crowd by an author named Gustav. You can get off Amazon for like $10. And that's what many people try to do. They try to prestige badge you to death for you to value their time at a higher level. Because many people will value their time, right, at where they get paid per hour. And many people don't try to use results as a differentiator because they don't really have results that they can speak to. They try to prestige badge you to death even if they really don't have results. So you have physicians that really have not healed anybody. But because they're a physician, they want you to pay them a certain amount of money. But they haven't healed anybody. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go to a doctor. I go to a doctor. But you have physicians that have healed nobody. Now, one thing about the legal space, you have attorneys that could talk about, hey, man, I was successful in this case and then I was successful in this case. But you have a lot of people that are quote unquote credentialed and certified that never speak to results. They only speak to their credentials as a way of creating a prestige badge authority as to why you should pay them. And it works because most people only value your time based on how much they value their time. And that's set by the employer. So the employer says, hey, we'll pay you $20 an hour. And they mind everybody else's time is worth $20 an hour. And then therefore, they don't understand that a person's time can be worth more than that. And then they're creating something for you for free. And in reality, they lost $500 of their time to create something for you for free, for you to take it, to watch it or read it whenever you get around to it. Because you don't see their time being worth $500. You see it being worth what your time is worth, which is $20 an hour. And what I want to really encourage everybody to do is start valuing your time at a higher number than what your employer does. Doesn't mean you should be arrogant, doesn't mean you should be prideful, but start looking at your time as being worth more than what your, so whatever your employer says your time is worth, start seeing your time being worth more than that. Because I think that's the only way you're going to see somebody else's time being worth more than that. Okay, so if your employer says your time is worth $25 an hour, start seeing your time being worth $100 an hour. And then maybe you'll start seeing other people's time being worth $100 an hour. And then you'll understand that if somebody's giving you something, or they're producing something, or they're saying we're going to have this event and you can just show up and come through, that they're spending 4 hours with you, which is worth $400 of their time. It's not what your time is worth to go to the event. It's what their time is worth to have the event for you. You understand me? You got to start valuing your time at a greater amount. And then you'll start understanding that the value of my time is so great that it may not make sense for me to spend the next 20 hours looking for something when I can pay somebody to tell me something in an hour, because the value of my time is so great. It may not make sense for me to try to figure out how to fix this on my car, because I can pay a guy who's a professional to fix my car and save me 3 hours, instead of me spending the next 2 weeks and then going out there on my own and trying to figure out how to do this over 8 hours. And if I get it wrong, I got to get it towed to the shop, yada, yada, yada. But because you don't really value your time past what your employer has told you, they got you in this trap to where now you scared to do anything over a certain amount. And see, this is the problem. There's bad agents in every marketplace, right? There's bad. So I know a lot of people that have worked in real estate that got beat out of money in the real estate game. Nobody comes out here and says, you know what? Everybody in real estate is scamming. I've known a lot of people that worked in real estate that got beat out of money in the real estate game for a lot of different reasons, whether it was a contractor, a deal that went bad. I know a lot of people that worked in real estate that got beat out of money. You'll never hear nobody come out and say, you know what, the real estate game is trash. Right? You ain't seen fraud till you go into the real estate game, because it's so, the deals are so big and the money is so big. It's a lot of opportunity for bad agents in that marketplace. This little stuff you see on social media ain't nothing. You haven't seen fraud until you go into finance. This is nothing. This little real estate, this little internet stuff is nothing. You haven't seen real fraudulent behavior till you go into publicly owned companies. You ain't seen it. There are so many people misrepresenting what they say they can do in the publicly owned space, and they're robbing their shareholders. You ain't seen nothing, right? There's a lot that you haven't been exposed to because your whole world is social media. And you'll never see somebody come out and say, you know what? The public space for publicly owned companies is all just one big scam, right? But we've had Enron, we had WorldCom, we had Nikola, we had a lot of those genome companies are, to me, really not solid. Okay, I can name you company after company after company after company. There's one company that I got put contracts on right now. They're not gonna be able to do what they say they can do. Is it a scam? Is it not? Who can tell? I don't care. I'm gonna make money off of it. You understand me? However, no one will say, well, these particular areas are all scams, and you shouldn't go into this area because you can do it for free somewhere else. Still, one of the best ways to get a return on your money is through the stock market. Still, one of the best ways to get a return on your money is through real estate. Right? And if you want to be really, really good at real estate, I don't see how you're going to figure out how to do it for free. And if you do, it'll take you twice as long as paying somebody to help you learn how to do it. Right? If you want to get really good at understanding the stock market, it's not buying an index fund. That's not understanding the market. You don't understand the market if all you do is buy an index fund. You don't understand the market. And like I said, when you're making money, you don't know why you made it. And when you're losing money, you also don't know why you're losing it. Because you don't understand anything. You just putting your money into an index fund. If that's all you want to do, that's cool, but you don't understand anything. Therefore, if you're paying somebody to teach you how the market actually functions and how publicly owned companies are actually valued and how to evaluate a publicly owned company, right, based on its fundamentals, that is getting a understanding of the space. It took the person that's teaching you that a certain amount of time to understand that. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Okay? If you go to Vanguard right now, you don't have to pay Vanguard anything to invest in their funds. However, if you want Vanguard to consult with you, you have to show Vanguard that you have $50,000 to put into their fund for them to talk to you. So therefore, you can buy into Vanguard for the cost of buying shares in one of their funds. But if you want their people to talk to you, you have to show Vanguard that you have $50,000 to invest, and then they're going to take a piece of that $50,000 to consult with you. Why? Because the game they have for you is not free. You understand me? And that's how they differentiate, and that's how they discriminate against people that's looking for free. They put a $50,000 floor. So now you can go to Vanguard, and what the person at Vanguard will tell you may be what you could have found on the internet. Right? And how Vanguard gets around dealing with that crowd, they put a $50,000 ceiling on it. If you go to Goldman Sachs, right? They have wealth management. What do you think they're going to tell you that you can't go look up? They can't put you inside of trading deals, right? Can they maybe attach you to some IPOs? Yeah, but IPOs are dangerous if you don't get in super early, and even then they're still dangerous because there's no guarantee the company's going to be successful. The least risk is to invest in established companies, blue chip companies. Therefore, if you're dealing with Goldman and their wealth management part of their business, and all they're doing is giving you information that you could have got on the internet, are you going to turn around and tell Goldman Sachs, well, you know what? I could have got this information for free? Goldman Sachs doesn't market to people that want stuff for free. Morgan Stanley doesn't market to people that are looking for stuff for free. They're marketing for people that understand the value of their time, right? And they understand consulting by people that know what they're talking about. They have a track record, right? And they're willing to pay for that. They're not looking to get stuff for free because in their world, things cost. Whether they cost money, they cost time, they cost resources, they cost political capital, they cost social capital. They understand there's a cost attached to everything. They're not looking for stuff for free. And that's one thing I really want you to understand is that I don't market to a free looking crowd. I have content on my YouTube page, right? That is a courtesy to somebody that's watching. But it's not free because it took time and money and resources for me to produce it. You buy a microphone, it costs $100. I got to figure out how to get my $100 out of this business because a microphone cost me $100. Right? And I shouldn't stop at 100. This is America. If I have the opportunity to make money, I should make all the money I can make as long as it's legal. Why? Because this is America. Ain't nobody telling Elon Musk he should stop. Ain't nobody telling Bezos he should stop. Right? Elon Musk is not going to say, you know what? I won't sell a black person a car for $30,000. Why? Because they black. I know they come from a community that historically has had wealth issues. So when it comes to black people, I'm going to drop the price of the car to $5,000 to give them the same car I would sell a white person for $30,000. He not going to do that. If y'all can't afford it, don't buy it. I lived in Atlanta for years. Atlanta is not a black city. It's really a mixed city. It's about 40% black. However, they would bring seminars into the city, real estate, other type of seminars would come in. They all would come into downtown Atlanta. Me and Huff was some of the few black people, right? Also another sister that's an attorney down in Southwest. We was one of the few black people that was doing free workshops around marketing, business, make sure that your business legal structures founded properly for small business owners in black areas of Atlanta for free. All you had to do is show up. All you had to do is show up. You understand me? And what hurts a lot of people is they're told that the only way you are being a blessing to people is to give away what it costs you money to obtain. So how does this work economically? Let me ask you a question from an economic standpoint. Some of you will never be able to get this because emotionally, you can't detach that from the reality of the situation. Some of y'all got to be right all the time. I get it. You got to be right. Some of y'all got to be the smartest person in the room. That's an emotional issue. There's an emotion tied to that. We talked about pride and arrogance before. So some of y'all never gonna get this, but this is for the people that may get it. From an economic standpoint, it costs me inputs to create the actual product or service, right? So it costs me inputs to create the product or service at a certain amount. Let's really simplify it, right? So let's say the input to create the product or service is at a 10, right? It takes a 10 to create the product or service. And what I'm being told is that what it takes to create the product or service, I should not therefore go in the market and look to get a multiple of that. Shouldn't do that because of the audience that I'm serving. So I shouldn't look to get a multiple of the 10, right? Because I'm dealing with an audience that has a sensitivity to paying over a certain amount, right? So I shouldn't look to do that. But the problem is it costs me a 10 to create the product or service. So now what I got to look to do now is to either create a product or service that doesn't cost the 10, but it's not equivalent to what I was producing before, or not serve that market. And this is why when these people come into the city of Atlanta and they have seminars and workshops around building wealth and being successful in real estate and cryptocurrency and things of that nature, you want to know why they don't market to Southwest Atlanta? You want to know why they don't market to East Atlanta? You want to know why they don't market to the south side of the city? Why? Because it costs a certain amount of money to produce this product or service, and we know we got a market that don't want to pay it. Therefore, we can't get a return on what we created to where it makes economic sense. So you know what they do? They go smack dab into downtown Atlanta. Now, if you want to drive up, you can come up there and pay them their money. But they're not targeted at that market. Why? Because it don't make economic sense. And until we start dealing with the cold reality of that situation, we always going to be left behind. Now, this is for the people. We at the 27-minute mark. So I know people mostly watch around 15 to 20% of my videos, and then they lose their attention span and they get off. I get it. I try to keep my videos around 30 minutes because I got about a 30-minute attention span too, right? But my attention span is longer than 10, 15 minutes. So we late into the video now, so now we really starting to get into what the real situation is. We can't get certain stuff targeted at us because it don't make economic sense. And you think somebody's being your friend by pointing out that everything should be free and this is too expensive and yada, yada, yada. You think they being your friend. And they're never going to tell you the reason why certain solutions don't get provided is because what it costs to create the solution, right? What it costs to create the solution, we can't get a multiple back out of providing that particular solution. Therefore, it don't make sense. These people are lying to you when they say, well, how come it's not grocery stores in low-income black areas? You want to know why they're not? Because it don't make economic sense. That's a fact. Now, we can try to figure out a solution to the problem, but we got to stop saying that people is not doing things because they don't necessarily like you like that. Sometimes it don't make economic sense. They can't justify this from an economic standpoint. And so what you're being sold is why, well, this should be free or this costs too much money. And you never asked yourself, what does it cost for this person to produce this service? Or what does it cost for this person to produce this product? Because like I said, if free was a solution, we wouldn't have a country with this much wealth inequality. If free was a solution, we wouldn't have all these people that got bad health. It wouldn't be the case because they can go on YouTube and go on Google and look it up. That's what you got to really understand. It doesn't mean that there aren't bad agents in the marketplace. There are, like I said, there's a lot of people in real estate that'll beat you off your money. It don't make real estate a bad place to make money at. It's one of the best ways in which you're going to build wealth is real estate. So you got to figure out how to navigate around that. You got to get seasoned in the game to where you see that coming. You got to get around groups of people where they're not going to let you get exposed to that stuff. But Goldman Sachs is not going to come to Southwest, right? They're not going to go to East Atlanta. They're not going to go to Zone 6 and have a seminar on how to build generational wealth. Why? Because of what it took for us to produce this expertise in this area. These people can't get us our money back. So why we waste our time? Right? Why we waste our time with that? So they will be doing that as charity. Well, Goldman Sachs not in the business of charity. They about making money by any means necessary. JP Morgan about making money by any means necessary. They're not about doing charity. They'll shoot a business a little bit of a sponsorship deal, but they're about making money by any means necessary. They're not a charity organization. And that's what people really got to understand. I want to really encourage you to start valuing your time. Start also valuing the time of your future, right? Many things in this world are in abundance. One of the things that's not in abundance is your time, right? I had a member of my family pass away at 14 years old last year, right? It was very serious. I knew this person their whole life. I knew that they was a baby. They was an infant. They passed away at 14. You couldn't have told me 10 years ago they was going to pass away at 14. I wouldn't have believed you, right? A lot of things in this world are in abundance, but one thing that's not is your time. We don't know how long we got here. And I want to really get you to start valuing your time more as early as possible. Start valuing it and trying to figure out, how can I get the best value on my time? Because that's the one thing that I can't make more of, right? And really encourage you. Nothing is free. Even if I say, hey, I'm going to have a particular class and I'm going to teach this to you, it's not free. It takes time. The videos that I do on YouTube, they take time to put together. They're not free. All you got to do is watch it. I got to make the video. They're not free. Do I get donations? Yes, I really do appreciate the donations. But it wasn't free for the person to give me the donation because they had to go make that money somewhere. So if somebody shoot me a Cash App, they had to make that money to shoot me the Cash App. So it's still not free. It came from somewhere. And we really got to really start wrapping our head around that reality. It has to come from somewhere. Somebody had to produce it. And until we go back to a world where God just going to give us everything we need and we don't have to work and labor for nothing and we don't have to produce things, somebody, some human somewhere is going to have to produce it. Right? So until we go back to that, we always got to understand that somebody somewhere got to produce this stuff to give it and create it for us to have it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? And that's what I want you to understand. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, talk to you later.